So today we are talking about the Golden Bachelorette. And let me tell you, before you're like, oh no, I don't even want to watch that show, stop right there. This is truly for anybody that feels like giving up on love. They're like feeling hopeless. You're feeling like, I'm never going to find the right partner. This show is so inspiring. So I just finished seeing the season finale, and it's about 8 or 9 episodes. I truly want you to binge watch it. Like if you're at all feeling like hopeless, this is for you because there's so many wonderful things that you can learn from the show and just be inspired by Joan's journey. But like, and it doesn't even matter what I say right now, it's still not going to spoil it. Like I want you to hear this with an open mind, open heart, whatever, BS that you have in your head about like, oh, those are just old people looking for love. Like truly don't be in your own way on this. Like truly open your mind and heart up to what I'm about to say. I can tell you who wins, and I still want you to watch the show. Like because it doesn't matter. It's so good. It is so good. So yes, I am about to say who won, and so if that is an issue for you, pause this, watch the show, and then come back and listen to this. But I want you to, the biggest takeaways that I'm going to talk to you about right now is, Joan was married for 30 some years, like to the love of her life, and he died, and she it was just so incredible how vulnerable she was on the show, and seeing her journey and her trying to be strong for her whole family. Like she's like this matriarch, or, and she just so wonderful and powerful as a woman, as a mother, as a daughter. And so like you see her and I'm so rooting for her. Like I feel like when you see her, you start to get to know her. But at the same time, like she's always trying to be so strong, and she realizes that she is struggling and it's hard for her to truly open up to another person because she feels like guilty, feeling like, how can I move on? Like if I really loved, her, if I really loved him, then I wouldn't be able to move on like this. And so she was really conflicted, and seeing that journey and seeing how people were there supporting her. And I just absolutely loved that for her. And then seeing the actual men on that show, how emotionally mature they were. Like I've seen The Bachelor and Bachelorette for years, and you see all these contestants and the cast, whatever you call it, the contestants. And so many times they lack that emotional maturity, the self-awareness. It's like really cringe. It's really dramatic. It's so much about ego. And what I love about the Golden Bachelorette, it was really so inspiring to see the men, the way that they connected, the way that no one's trying to show off and look at me like I'm better than you. They were just so secure. Like truly, this is what I want for you, especially if you're listening to this and you're a guy, right? And you're like, it's just, I think that anyone can benefit from watching the show, but especially if you're a guy in the dating world right now, and it feels like, oh my gosh, if you're not 6 foot whatever, if you don't have this amount of money, and like you get in your head about it and you're feeling insecure. And that goes for women too. Like there's things that, oh my gosh, I don't look a certain way, I don't do this, and so you get really insecure. What I absolutely loved about the people, all the men on that show, they were so different. They all looked very different careers that they had in their lives, different histories, different everything. And they were just so secure. And because they were so secure and confident in themselves and their story, it made them all very attractive to Joan. Like Joan was like very interested in so many of them. And it's because and you could feel it as you're watching the show, you could feel how these men were not competing with one another, because it's not about a competition. When you truly feel like, hey, I know my worth and I am putting myself out there to see if we're aligned, that is so beautiful. And it's actually not, it won't make you anxious. It won't make you feel like, oh my God, this has to work. Am I enough? Am I good enough for her? Instead, the energy of it as you watch it is, this is who I am, and I want to know who you are. And are we aligned? Do we connect? Is there an emotional connection here? Do we want the same things in life? Right? And it was so peaceful. Like for the most part, honestly, it was so peaceful. It was like drama free. And that's what I absolutely loved about it. And so like the person who won the show, it actually proposed to her. It was so beautiful. It was Chalk. And I loved Chalk. And one of the things I loved about Chalk too was that his mom passed away while he was on the show, and he went to, see his family and be with them. And I was really worried because he was my favorite, like from the very beginning. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe Chalk is leaving. But he came right back. And so I love that. And she said, you're the first person that I could imagine a future with. Like, I never thought that I could have a future with a partner after my husband passed away, and you were the first one. And so, like, she was doing the whole journey the way that she's supposed to and date each guy. But I really feel like her heart was really set on Chalk. And what I loved about Chalk too is that he consistently showed up for her, and his actions aligned with his words. Like him coming back to her after, you know, his mom passed. And then when he brought her home, the way that he treated her and was so vulnerable, and like the way he just talked about her to the family, you could just see that he's a genuine person. And he really was crazy about her, you know. And it's so funny because they were joking about that, like how many times he said, I'm crazy about you. I'm crazy about you. And then finally, like at the end, he's like, I'm in love with you. Like, that's it. Like, it's like such a leap of faith, you know, like to really say those words and just go all in. And I'm so happy he did. Like, he really laid it all out there. And it was so freaking cute when Chalk gave her, like their last date, a lock. And he's like, this is a lock with a key. Like, I want us to get a place together in New York. Like, this is our next chapter in our lives together. Like, you could just feel that he was so committed to her and fearless. And he was like, I'm all in, you know? And so I think that is something that you can take away from that. Because like, I think that sometimes we try to play it safe. You know, sometimes we feel all these emotions and we freak out. We're like, oh my gosh, what's happening? And then you kind of want to take a step back because it might be feeling too vulnerable. Oh my God, and you might get hurt. And this is where I feel like when you have it so clear on your worth, okay, and this is so important for you to reflect on that. Like, do you truly know how worthy you are? Are you confident in yourself and all of that you bring into a relationship? Right? And if you don't feel confident, then that means you need to do that first before you put yourself out there, before you start dating, you know, oh, let me just have fun with this one person. No, like seriously, because at the end of the day, when we think we're just having fun, next thing you know, we're like in a 6-month situationship. And it's like, and it's not fair to anybody. So like, you know, that's a huge takeaway as you see the men that are putting themselves out there and they're so confident in themselves and they feel worthy. And some of them even struggle with that. And that struggle, like Mark was struggling with, you know, his own journey and getting over his, you know, wife that passed away. Like she realized, you know, Joan realized Mark isn't in the space to be a partner. Like he's still healing. He's still in that healing journey, and she let him go. And I was really happy she did. Like she had to, because Mark was doing his, you know, he had to heal through that. And it was so, and he was just so emotionally mature and took it so well. But like, I think that this is important for you as you're watching the show. You can say, oh my gosh, I feel like I need some more healing to do. I need to do some more inner work. I need to feel worthy, things like that. Right. And then if you're feeling, as you're watching, you're like, oh my God, I'm so much like Chalk, or I'm so much like, I feel confident in myself, and da, da, da. Like, awesome. So then I love what Joan says. She goes, I hope my story inspires you. And she's saying this at the after the final rose. And she's like, but you know, and I hope you have hope. I hope you feel like hope again, that you could find love, but that's not enough. You need to take action. And it's so true. It is so true. I feel like, you know, so many of you guys are listening to this, and I love that you are, and you're like challenging yourself. And this is one step, but you really do have to take action, more action towards that, like fearlessly, you know, like so if you need inner work, if you need help on that, then don't just think about it and don't just sit with your feelings on your own, because that's not going to take you anywhere. It really isn't. You need to be like, okay, what can I do to heal? Therapy is awesome. Oh my gosh. I feel like everyone needs to do therapy always. Coaching. This is what I do with my clients. We do, you know, people always think I'm just a dating coach and I help you find your person. People have actually thought I was a matchmaker, and I'm not. But what ends up happening is you have to do that first step, inner work. So that's what I do with my clients. I help you heal. There's always these things in the past that have, you know, stayed there subconsciously, and it blocks you from receiving the right partner. And so you get stuck in a pattern of like real shitty ass relationships, situationships, a pattern of toxicity. And so it's really important to like stop going with the flow and really stop and act and get a different perspective from someone. And so then they give you tools of like, okay, wait a second, let's put a light on the things that you don't want to see. You probably haven't want to talk about. You didn't want to talk about it. And so you kind of have to get uncomfortable, but you have to be willing. Like if you see yourself not finding love and you see everyone else finding, and you're like, well, wow, they're so lucky. It's not. It's not. And I love Joan for her message with that, because she really put herself out there. Like going on this show, that's not easy. And she's 61, you guys. Like, hello, like you guys, seriously. Like I know some of you are like, oh my God, I'm like 37 and I'm 41 and I'm like 50. Like I have some of my clients that are 51. I have 60-year-olds, but I'm saying like I hear from the 30-some-year-old clients of mine, oh my God, I'm running out of time. And I'm like, stop being the victim here. Like truly take action towards love, right? And so really treat your love life like your career. Like you work, you hired people, you learned, you did the things. You didn't just sit back and the career landed on your lap, right? And so Joan's words were so spot on. She took action, and seeing her so in love with chalk was just so special. Like you could feel how genuine and aligned they are. And that doesn't just happen for the lucky few. It's for the people that are willing to get uncomfortable and take action and do something about it. So, honestly, I say step one, watch the Golden Bachelorette, like binge it. It's just like 8 episodes and they're short, but like, I want you to be really inspired. I want you to like get off your ass and be like, okay, what am I doing? Like the next episode I have to do is about the cuffing season, and you need to hear that. So make sure you subscribe if you've been listening to me and this is resonating with you, it's inspiring you, it's calling you out. If you feel called out, then you better keep listening, because I am a tough love coach. I don't want you to just settle for whatever and be like, I guess I'm going to be alone forever. No, you're not. You're not. If you're going to be listening to me, you're not going to be alone forever. Yeah, surprise, surprise. Well, thank you for listening. I'm all about crazy love, because it has to be crazy love or nothing. Thank you for listening. Till next time.